Hey, my name is Lauren, and you're watching BloodJuice.
Yeah. Sipping on the blood juice.
It's BloodJuice! Fucking BloodJuice!
Sipping on the blood juice.
So where are you from and how old are you?
I am from Western Suburbs in Sydney, Australia, and I'm 24.
What's your background?
I was born in Australia, but my parents are Austrian and Italian.
So you've grown up here all your life?
Yeah, but I've moved around like Australia a lot.
Everywhere in Australia?
No, I've like lived in Queensland, Sydney, moved back to Queensland, back to Sydney. You know, being around, yeah.
So you got family in Queensland?
Yeah.
So biggest influences?
I feel like it depends. Like, there's different influences. I feel like in music, like Lil Kim would definitely be like huge influence for me. Yeah, I have like another one, Deborah Francis White. I don't know, you guys would know, like she like does like the Guilty Feminist, which is like a podcast, but like she does some crazy shit for like community with like females, and like she's Australian, but she like travels internationally to like represent like how women are undermined, and like just discussing like topics, and like yeah, it's really cool. Regular Nasty, like she's really cool because she's like 20, 21, and like she's like on Forbes list, and she did that in like less than like 2 years, which is crazy. Yeah, like I can't really think of any more. There's so many, like heaps in hip hop as well.
Yeah. So they're just.
Yeah, I know. I can hear him laughing. Like, motherfuckers.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Best line you've ever written?
Maybe I'll just like. I feel like in my new single, Move That, my favorite part of the song would be like the bit that's like, we're my independent women, we stay real and we stay driven. I ain't stopping till we win, and out the house, not in the kitchen. I'm on target, it's precision. On the field, I'm in position, sending shots, I'm never missing. Don't be fucking with the vision, bump the volume, better listen. Wishful thinking, dinner service, else I'm dishing. But I went like really far. But yeah, I just feel like I really liked the flow in that when I made it. I'm pretty sure I made it when I was like munted as well. So like I wrote most of that when I was fucked up, and I think it was like cool because like it was probably the most like I was exploring my flow more, and yeah, I feel like it's my favorite part to perform.
Is performing your favorite part of music?
I feel like when I first started making music, the part that I love the most, because obviously like I don't know, when you start off you're just super like I don't want to show anyone, but like that part where you're like making the track and like you make it with your friends and like you get through like the hook or like the first like verse or whatever, and you're just like fuck, like this is gonna be cool, you know, that experience. And then to only come to like now that I'm not so nervous, that I'm like really enjoying the shows and like interacting with people and like just like trying to do some crazy shit and just like make people feel a certain type of way. So like yeah, and then after like when you get to meet those people and like have a conversation with them, yeah, it's super interesting. So yeah, like I fucking love performing.
Just really love like networking and like meeting people as like who they are.
Yeah, for sure. Like even like I've noticed when I've done a few gigs like in like places like Newcastle or like Victoria and stuff, like you meet people that are like from small towns and like they don't like really have that much like hope for like what they're doing, and like it's like nah, like man, like whatever band you're in that has like 3 people in a population of like 3,000 people, you know, like keep doing it because like it's cool. And just like I love music, so I guess when you like meet other people that really love music and they're really like really invested, it's like interesting to meet those people and talk to them because they're like obviously gonna have something that they can relate back to you with. So
yeah,
cool.
It's like music creates a whole community.
Yeah, like, and I definitely love like huge inspiration in life is just like meeting people. Like I go out daily just like to like meet people and like just listen to what they have to say and like their stories, because you learn so much from people. Like I don't learn shit about myself, I already look at myself every single day, you know, but like when I look out to other people I'm learning so much more. So like definitely whenever, like if it shows, if it's at the studio, if it's like at work, like I'm always just trying to like interact, get people's perspective on things so I can just like I don't know, better my own, I guess.
So how do you go about making the whole music?
Well, when I started, it was just a joke. Like, my friends and I went to the Philippines, and then I did a track with a few of them, and I was just like on the hook, and then I had like a verse, and then my friend was like, yo, like, you should actually do this, you know, like, you should actually like try and like, and I've been studying flows my whole life and like hip hop my whole life to like the sickening level, you know, so it just kind of like felt uncomfortable, but like it made so much sense at the time. So I feel like now, like when I go into the studio, I usually like touch on like a certain emotion that I'm feeling, and like I just kind of run with it, you know, like, and like maybe like it'll be like I'll show my friends a track that like I really like or fucking with at the moment, or like the vibe that I like, or even like a small little like thing to sample out of a track, and I'll just write something, a vibe to show them, and then inspires them, they make it, and then just like happens.
So it's
you
really
know?
emotion that like drives this shit, hey?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I feel like I get around so many genres, because like it's more like emotion that I'm drawn to. Like I'll listen to a whole album that has no words, you know, like, because I feel like more so I'm like drawn to that rather than just like the whole hip hop side of things. But obviously hip hop has been like a huge like community for like finding your sense of belonging. So I've always like loved hip hop as well, like growing up as an outcast. So like that was a huge like connection for me, because like, yeah, that's a huge thing with hip hop. Like it's creating that belonging when you're not getting that voice. That voice is like, you have to listen, you know, because it's like in your ear and like loud, and like it's hip hop, it's raw, you know. So yeah, cool.
Who got you into hip hop?
Hmm?
Who got you into hip hop?
I think it was like myself, but like my brother, when I was growing up, he's like 32 now, but when I was growing up, he like loved Tupac, like loved 50 Cent, loved like DMX, like all these artists. So like I also had his CDs, and like I think my first CD was 50 Cent, and also my mum was really into R&B as well. And then yeah, I think like my brother moved out, I had his old computer, and I just started falling in love with hip hop. And I think like from 50 Cent, I feel like that's where like even like The Game, all these artists that kind of like have more slang to what they talk, I feel like that's what I've like built my foundation on with hip hop. So like naturally I end up talking like that sometimes as well. So it's definitely cool, because like, yeah, it's something that I picked up when I was like, you know, like 8 or something, and like now to like have those same qualities, it just shows that these things have like been in the cards for me for like years in the making, and it's only now that like, yeah, it's so cool. Yeah.
That's mad. So what type of albums did you listen to then?
Like I was like fucking 11 listening to like Eazy-E and just saying like just really ignorant shit, you know, like I loved like Tupac, loved like, I was like, I like loved Tupac, you know, just like all of that, like Lil Kim. These are all artists that I've loved for my whole life. And like my friends and I, when we were growing up, like I never really went out. These guys were always older than me, so like our whole like honestly like 6 years of my like teenage years was just like cruising with these guys and like just smoking cigarettes and like listening to like just mad hip hop, you know. Like I loved Ice Cube, loved Easy, loved Dre, loved like all of them, you know, like Tech Nine. Like I love like just like, yeah, just hip hop in general is just sick. Tyler the Creator, like just like, because they all have different avenues, different like attacks, and they're completely different than the other. Like I'm not going to compare like Tupac to like Odd Future, and like it's hip hop's the whole genre within itself. So like it's cool when you see the messages that they're going for, and even like heaps alternative rap I'm like into as well, you know, like but yeah, it's cool, different messages, different stories. So
Shit. So out of all these people, one artist that you'd want to work with?
Probably Baby Mother. She's like from Chattagong in Tennessee. But I think after listening to her, like obviously I love Lil Kim. Really love Lil Kim. But Baby Mother's been like only new. Not that many people know about her. But she's got like 4 sets of she had 2 sets of twins natural birth, and she like is raising those kids while like dropping albums, you know. And like it's not just like albums where like they're like average. Like every single track is hard. Like every single track is like showing like that rawness that Little Kim had, like that whole like, this is me, I'm fucking like real ignorant, you know. Like she's like, you know, don't ask me what's in my cup unless I'm throwing up, you know, like just real ignorant. but she's just so cool as well. Like, she just has her stretch marks on stage. She doesn't give a fuck. Like, she's like had all these kids. She's just like, she's like a huge bump on her head. I have no idea what it is, but it's like these huge. But like, just the way she rocks her shit and like bodies every single track, it's like crazy. And she has no shame about it. So like, yeah, definitely her, definitely. Because like, even, yeah, if you haven't heard of her, it's like BBYMUTHA. Check her out, you know. I'm a rapper all day.
What about your music? What's your favorite tracks you've been making lately?
I have a feeling like one of the tracks that I really, really enjoy making, like, I feel like everything's like different vibe. I'm always trying to like change the kind of music that because I'm so new to it, so like might as well. But I made the track with Nerve, and it's super cool because like even the way that we made it, it's just like we were joking about it when we were out, and then like when it happened and we made it, like we were getting everyone in, and like we had like all the girls and they were like all dancing with us. But it's called Cross the Line, but it was just something not released yet, but like something different for sure.
Is he the favorite person you've worked with?
I don't know, I have no favorites because I feel like you're learning off everyone, you know, like, so like if I'm in the studio with someone else, it's completely different from the other person, and like you learn different things. Like when I sit in the studio with Nerve, like he's always like being like, oh, here, like this is what you know, like with Ableton, you know, and like showing me these kind of things that I want to learn as well. But then when I'm going into like studios with like people like Corky Butchek, you know, like they're my family, so they're like pushing me to like push, like change boundaries and be like, oh no, try this, or like try this, and I feel comfortable with it. And then the same thing with like if I'm with the studio with Kwame, like, you know, it's like completely different because like he's like challenging me and he's like, you know, again, yo, try this, do it like this, you know, like, and that's kind of good as well. They all have different things that have like helped me build, you know, and like putting myself in uncomfortable positions. I feel like, yeah. So yeah, all of them are different, all of them great, and all of them I've
How's
learned.
working with Kwame?
Yeah, super cool because like I was like friends with him before any of it happened, so it's cool that like, yeah, he super believes in me. We have like really similar likes in music, so we're always like sharing each other's shit, and like he's the one that helped me like start doing this, you know, like he was the one that heard the track and was like, you know, like you should actually do this, and that's when we made our first track, which isn't even released yet, so like it'll be coming out soon, and that was like our first track that we made together. But it's cool because me and him have like a different bond, like away from music, and like I feel like when that comes together, it's like really nice. And like, yeah, also he's really serious about his shit, you know, like he's real serious about his shit. Like 6 a.m. every day he's up, you know, like he's at the studio, like he's doing something every single day. He's like really like working really fucking hard. So like I feel like that's also super inspiring, and when you're in the studio with him, like it like reflects the same shit and you want the same shit for yourself. So yeah, cool.
Because you want the energy around you.
Yeah, for sure.
How did you meet him anyway? Was that through the label or?
We actually, most of Lessons Learned was like I was staying at my friend like Corky Butchek. I was staying at his house at the time, and like most of that recorded was like in like the spare room that like, so like we were all just friends. He went to the school near us. I think we just both knew that we were doing music in the area, and it started with like a video or two, and then started making tracks, and then like obviously like Feel Good and like all those tracks that Corky collaborated with Kwame to do. And then we just kept going from there, you know, and then they had a studio space, and then we just kind of like put two together, and like now it's like all the time, you know, like whenever we go out, we're always like repping each other's stuff, even though like we have like Mosaic Records, and then we have like Backbeat, which is another thing through like Kwame, and then we have like Bodega, and then we have like another guy, Digress, which does a lot of like the beats like that Raj Mahal does, and like he does a lot of like Kwame's beats as well, and the same with like Domba, the producer, who does a lot of Raj's beats. Like all of us kind of like rep each other's stuff, you know. So it's a cool vibe because like, yeah, like with you guys the same thing, like you always want to just keep like for Australian music like pushing more and more and more, because like you're gonna have something different than what we're gonna have. And the same with like Mosaic like more jazz, you know, like they're completely different, and like coming together, supporting each other, no matter like if like we're like doing that same music or at that same wave that time, like it's going to be beneficial to all of us in the long run. So yeah, I definitely think coming together was a cool idea,
especially when you're not established.
Yeah, for sure.
Australia is like that American level yet, so we can't really afford to.
And you're breaking those boundaries, like you're actually starting that historical time of music, you know, like when we're back in the day watching those things with rock and roll and stuff, like it's the same thing for what's happening right now, you know, like we got like Australian artists getting like huge American festivals now, and like they're like actually getting opportunities for themselves, and like people are actually like taking it internationally, taking a different eye to like Australian music the more and more that like time goes on. So like it's a historical time to like be like definitely enjoying and pushing everyone to like do the same thing, even if they haven't even like, I know people that I'm friends with that I like see potential in them, and I'm like, I don't even know, but I'm going to push them to like be some sort of creative, you know, because like the more the merrier, especially for our culture as well, and especially for our society in Australia, because like super close-minded. But yeah.
That's very good on you. So what are you looking forward to the most right now?
Just making more music, breaking more boundaries, honestly, more than anything. Like every day I'm always just like stressing because I'm like, oh, I just want to make like heaps of music, you know, like I just want to make heaps of music, and I'm already really hard on myself, so like I'm probably making enough music, but every day I'm still just like more, and I just want to like be able to, because the more you're letting yourself go, the more like you're like letting a moment take over like how you feel, rather than like you controlling everything. And I'm just one of those people, so like chasing that is something that like I'm so excited for. And now especially when I'm performing the same vibe, you know, like you're just chasing that feeling where like you're handing over that moment to someone else, and like someone like that, or like the universe, you know, and like that's just gonna happen. And like those two things happen when like one, you're performing and meeting these people, having these interactions with people on like such an intimate level, and then like two, and like you're in a studio with someone and you're like breaking those boundaries and like trying to like get past like something. Especially me, I've worked full-time my whole life until like now a year and a half ago, like getting past those boundaries that you've like mentally taught yourself, or like trying to like get past those barriers where like, you know, that stop you, more so just the limits, breaking limits. That's what I'm excited for.
Is that your biggest challenge?
What, like breaking limits?
Yeah.
Oh, like I feel like my biggest challenge would be like my thoughts, like for sure. Like I just like, I notice now the difference, like if I'm really like thinking about shit, or like really like making myself like feel a certain type of way, then like it affects like so much, especially when it comes to like when you want to inspire others, when you want to make music, when you want to like try and like plan moves. Like it's so hard to do when like you're like low-key telling yourself like, no, it's not enough, you know, it's not enough. So I definitely feel that like that's a huge challenge. It's also a blessing at the same time, because like it's good to always feel like that. But even like with a single release, I'm like, yeah, I'm grateful, but like I want to put more effort in next time, like more effort. Like I'm like, it never feels like it's enough effort. Like the week that I release like Move That, I'm calling like my manager and I'm like, oh, like, I don't think I did it right. I don't think I like, and he's like, no man, you've done like everything you could think of doing. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like it will take a lot for me to like, yeah, see those things, which sucks. I guess you can't really grasp a moment when you're always on to the next. Okay, if you guys are free on the 13th of this month, which is April, come down to my Move That single launch party at Glendenning. The address will be on my socials. So my Instagram is lauren.sgs, which she'll fucking probably be down here anyway. But yeah, if you guys are free, it'll be like an all women's hip hop event. So like, yeah, if you guys, come through Glendenning, that area.
Sweet.
And that's all. Like, yeah, thanks guys. It's cool that you're doing this for the culture. Shout out to BloodJuice.